Greetings. I'm Stephen Williams. They call me the Good Bishop, and ain't nobody good like our God. Welcome to the channel. It's called the Good Bishop channel. It is designed for us to have some dialogue as we're going to tackle different subjects. As we begin to discuss and be able to do some things, please do me a huge favor, like and share, subscribe, tell the people about it. It's a place where we're going to have great conversation. What I want you to do, if you get an opportunity, go ahead, put yourself down in the chat. Give me some questions and some feedback, if you will. But we want to discuss, and I want to have a conversation, if you will. And we're going to have a series of conversations and sessions, and hopefully we'll be discussing some things that are pertinent to you. But I want to start this first one off a bit of a controversy. And I want to say, honestly, I've been doing this for a long time. And I've come to the conclusion after 15 years, this first marriage, the second marriage, and 10 in the first one, um, I don't think God should be first in a marriage. Let that sink in for a minute. I do not think God should be first in the marriage. Yeah, I know. So here's my backdrop for it. Um, Having a relationship with God is individualistic. All right. So the scripture says, "Work out your own soul salvation with fear and trembling." When you and I come to Jesus, you do not come as a package. You do not. You do not. That's not how we do it. We go individually. As they say in eschatology, none of us have been there, but whenever we get to go to heaven, you go by yourself, right? And so the relationship with God is personal. And the reason why I say God should not be first in a marriage is because marriage is designed for two people. All right. So now that takes the individualistic approach with your relationship with God, and it makes it so that it is joined. But here is the gig. Communication should be the number one thing in a marriage, then intimacy, and then you wrap that around God. So here's the scenario. I've always had a great relationship with God. But when you don't have good communication, you are talking to God, your spouse is talking to God. Both of you are getting good information, but neither one is talking to each other. And so the divorce rate is extremely high amongst believers. I think because we sit up in our counseling sessions and we tell people, hey, listen, put God first, put God first. But what should be first is communication. It doesn't matter how much I talk to God. If you cannot articulate and talk to your spouse, then you're going to go nowhere. Both of you can be praying separate things about the relationship. One can be praying to stay, the other one can be praying to go. uh, and so the communication piece becomes the very foundation and the fabric of it. And then you must figure out a way to be intimate with each other. And then you wrap those things around God. Yes, you can pray for your spouse, but what good is it to pray for him if you're not going to talk to him? What good is it if you can put God first in your personal life, but then your spouse is in the back seat? Now, if you are selfish, if you are insecure, if you are fearful, you'll hear me talk about this all the time. If you're non-communicative and if you're non-intimate, you don't need to be married. You need to don't even consider it, because that whole notion is you need to be able to talk. I tell my children, marry your best friend, somebody that you can communicate with and grow. Most marriages, irreconcilably, whatever it is, money, divorce, is birthed out of the ability to not communicate, not talk. And so I say communication should be first. Intimacy should be next. And then God wraps itself around that. You can't put God first. because you're going to end up without a relationship. You must learn to talk to one another. That's my tidbit. Let's have a discussion down in the bottom and tell me what you think. All right? I'm the good bishop, Stephen Williams. That's what they call me, but ain't nobody good like our God. Until our next appointed time on our next subject, please enjoy yourself, and peace and blessings be all over your life.